July the 3rd, 2012, you're about to watch The Amazing Spider-Man 1. You're excited about this new guy called Andrew Garfield. After Tobey Maguire, it's a trilogy. You've been waiting for this moment for 5 years now. Finally, you watched the film. It was a great new beginning for another Spider-Man journey. So you got excited for a second? Just after 2 years in 2014, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out. You watched it too. It wasn't as good as you expected, but you're still excited for the third movie. So you're starting to wait for the next bill. You wait, but it doesn't release. Then you see a completely different Spider-Man and Captain America: The Civil War. But what happened to The Amazing Spider-Man 3? The movie had just established its universe. New villains were coming. Fans loved Andrew Spider-Man. Even the second movie alone made over $700 million. But why was it canceled? This is the story of The Amazing Spider-Man 3. When you build a house, you need a strong foundation. The same goes for creating a cinematic universe. Every new movie should be built on top of all the previous movies. That was exactly what Sony had in mind when they rebooted Spider-Man with The Amazing Spider-Man in 2012. They had plans for a new Spider-Man cinematic universe, but things didn't go as planned. Let's explore why The Amazing Spider-Man 3 will never come and what led to the downfall of Sony's Spider-Universe. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was released in 2014. While it was a critical success, it did make a decent amount of money at the box office. Plans for The Amazing Spider-Man 3 and 4 World were planned and ready to start, but soon he wasn't waiting for one thing, and that one thing happening. Who remember 2014? That Monday morning, a hacker group known as Guardians of Peace leaked a release of confidential data from Sony Pictures. The data include personal information about the emails between Sony employees, copies of unreleased films, plans for future movies, and scripts for certain films. The emails revealed that the studio wasn't happy with The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and that they were struggling to come up with a strong story for the next movie. The emails showed that Sony was planning to create a Spider-Man cinematic universe that would include the spin of movies for characters like Venom and the Sinister Six. With all that leaked data, they left with a cinematic universe plan that everyone already knows about. But what if I told you that the Sony hack wasn't the only reason why The Amazing Spider-Man 3 was canceled? If you remember, at the beginning of this video, I told you that The Amazing Spider-Man 2 made over $700 million. Yeah, it may seem like a lot of money, especially if you consider that the movie's budget was $200 million. Well, $500 million may sound like a successful movie. It wasn't enough for Sony to make another movie, and so Sony hit the reset button and rebooted the Spider-Man series again. Please stand up, he joined forces with Marvel Studios. Tom Hollywood's introduced as the new Spider-Man in Captain America: Civil War, and then blew up with his new own solo movies. Spider-Man's Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home became a huge success. And let's not forget about Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse, which introduced us to a whole new world of spiders versus looking back. Sony's plan for an Amazing Spider-Man cinematic universe was too ambitious. They were trying to build a house without a strong foundation. An amazing experiment to try to do too much at the same time, introducing too many villains, and setting up too many plot threads for future movies. It's no wonder that you will somehow feel overwhelmed and underwhelmed at the same time. The Amazing Spider-Man 3 will never come because of all these factors, but in the end, it all worked out for the best. Tom Holland's Spider-Man has become a fan favorite, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse hook that there's still plenty of life left in this Spider-Man franchise. You know, when you see these as a whole, the saddest part of the story, he said, with history,